First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
On Friday, the family affair about to get personal between cousins Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. It's an all-new Friday night SmackDown from the WWE Thunderdome, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, only on Fox. All right, let's talk some football now. So our friends over at Fox Bet have been crunching the numbers. Here's what they came up with. For best odds to win the AFC, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs leading the way, followed by Lamar and the Ravens. Then, guys, there's a pretty significant drop until we get to the Steelers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Colts. So, Brandon, you think it's going to be a two-team race to win the AFC all season long between those top two teams, the Chiefs and the Ravens?
I don't, Jenna. I think it's going to be 4. I mean, obviously, we know the Chiefs and the Ravens will be in the mix. The Chiefs, you know, there's a lot of talk around, can this team be a dynasty? You look at the Ravens and the maturation of Lamar Jackson. Will he get better? Yes. But then there's 2 teams that stand out. The Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers is one. Coach Tomlin, he could have easily been the head coach of the year last year. He did a phenomenal job of stepping up and really galvanizing that locker room when his quarterbacks went down. He did a great job mid-season of getting that defense into shape. And now you have the return of Big Ben, who I think has a huge chip on his shoulder. And he actually is a really good quarterback, as we all know. And then the last team, this outlier, is the Titans. And this shouldn't be a shocker. I think they have the recipe for success. They can play good defense. They can play great defense, actually. They play great situational football. That's streamlined down by Coach Vrabel. And then also they have a running game. They're going to need that in December and January, and then they have an efficient passing game. So I think it's going to be 4 teams, not 2.
Nick.
Brandon, I love your faith in the Titans, the team who won the AFC Championship last year. The Steelers, thanks to what a great coach Mike Tomlin is, found a way to go 8-8 despite having the worst quarterback situation in football. So I appreciate all that, but you are out of your damn mind, bro. This is so clearly a 2-team race, and it is such a unique season because if we were to rank the best 8 teams in the NFL, I think 6 of them are in the NFC. I think only 2 of the top 8 are in the AFC. But those happen to be the best 2 teams in football by a wide margin. Certainly the best 2 teams in the conference. And when you mentioned the Steelers, they got a 38-year-old quarterback coming off the most significant upper body injury of his career. Now, maybe with what Nikola Jokic is doing, this is going to be the year of the overweight athlete, and Big Ben's going to continue to carry that torch. But I have my doubts. Ryan Tannehill is not going to have back-to-back extraordinary seasons. And the other guy on that list, the other teams on that list, why not? Because I believe it's more likely, Brandon.
Why not? You know why I love you know why I like Ryan. No, this is why I like Ryan Tannehill. He was actually on his way to being a really good quarterback before Adam Gase came in, and then he had some injuries. And Adam Gase was a great match, but then there were some injuries. Okay, this guy is battle tested. This guy stood up in the toughest time, led this team, and also was super efficient. If you go back and look at the stats, no, he wasn't throwing it 20, 25, 30 times a game. But when we talk about efficient and dropping dimes and getting this team in the right situations, you couldn't ask for a better quarterback. Down the stretch, there was no one playing better than Ryan Tannehill outside of Kirk Cousins.
Ryan Tannehill. Listen, it's a great point, and Wilds, I'll kick it to you. The issue for Tannehill is because his numbers were off the charts, how much of that was set up by Derrick Henry being Earl Campbell for 10 weeks? And can we expect Derrick Henry to, we know he's going to be good, but can we expect him to be historically prolific year over year, Wilds?
But that's the point, and I'm sorry, Wilds. Yes, I'm sorry, Wilds, and I'll let you just jump in right here, but that is the point. That's the recipe, is because they have a running game. All of it works together.
Okay.
All right, Wilds, go ahead.
Ryan Tannehill. I'm supposed to be nervous about Ryan Tannehill, Jenna. Is that it? Or the Super Bowl hangover Chiefs?
That is what the B-man said.
Or the Steelers, who are 4-9 against Bill Belichick. And 0-2 in
But
the
who
playoffs?
played well without
Is that what I'm supposed to be
last year?
nervous about?
Yes, yes.
And I'll end it with a little hip-hop trivia. A lot of people, you know that Jay-Z sample, you go, okay, I'm reloading. You know, a lot of people think that's from Carlito's Way. It's not. Every year, Bill Belichick and Jay-Z hook up, and he goes into the recording booth and says it once he gets his roster every year. So the idea that I'm nervous at all, and we're plus 1,200 on 5, I'm like, guys, what are we? This is my not nervous drink. Go ahead. Yeah, maybe it's Ryan Tannehill this year. Okay, maybe. Maybe it's not Cam Newton.
Oh, you guys are way too comfortable in New England.
Okay.
Way too comfortable in New England.
Nick.
Go ahead, Brandon.
The dynasty's over,
Well, I'm actually uncomfortable. I got
over.
6 rings I got to lug around all over the place. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
This conversation, guys, was supposed to be Chiefs and Ravens, and now suddenly the AFC is blown wide open. Nick, you're not buying it.
Well, no, I'm not buying it at all. In fact, I'm going to give out my first gambling tip of the NFL season. And the gambling tips on this show over the quarantine have been spectacular. But if you look at the Chiefs at plus 260 and the Ravens at plus 330, I'm going to pay for your entire season of sports betting right now, but you're just going to have to wait 20 weeks to cash the ticket. Here's what you do. Bet them both, America. Go on Fox Bet right now. If you need to, borrow some money from your spouse or whatever you need to do, squirrel that away. Because if you bet the Chiefs and the Ravens, you can't lose. Because one of those two teams is going to win the conference. And with the Chiefs at plus 260 and the Ravens at plus 330, you're guaranteed a profit there. You play this season 100 times. 100 times out of 100, one of those two teams comes out of the AFC.
Yeah.
And Brandon, Wild's out here talking about the Patriots. He should, instead of being worried about the fighting Ryan Tannehills, he should be a little more worried about the fighting Josh Allen's, according to Fox Bet, because the Bills' odds were listed before the Patriots' odds, if I read that graphic correctly, Brandon.
Then there's the fight in Phillip Rivers, too.
If you really want to make some money, if you really want to make some money, then you bet on the Steelers, you bet on the Titans. You can also throw in the Colts. Let's add a 15 to that discussion. Go ahead, Jenna.
I'm betting on 17 teams. I'm betting on every single team. I don't really know how to bet. I'm betting on every team in the AFC. By the way, great news. We got some
about long.
Go, finish up, Nick.
No, I was just going to say, hey, that's great value. It's great value at 12-1. It's great value at 10-1. Do you know what the value of a losing ticket is? 0. Like, oh my God, I had this unbelievable value. No, it's actually worth nothing.
What are we betting for? It's called gambling.
It's not good.
It's called gambling. What are you betting for? That's what you want. You want the big win.
Well, hell, you can get great odds on the Jags, my man. I can get them at 75-1. Like, I mean, hey, buy
all this action gets underway tomorrow night when the NFL kicks off this season. We'll take a turn. It was a milestone night for LeBron James. That's next.